Welcome back to Antiheroes in Exandria, or welcome for the first time if it's your first time joining us. I'm Kay, the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons show. Before I get into announcements, Nick, would you like to start us off with some player introductions?
Sure. Hi, I'm Nick. I play Isha Silberg, the human archfey patron warlock.
And I'm Ethan. I play Zofdal Zephyrax. You can call them Zof. And Zof is a dragonborn graviturgy wizard. Yep.
Hi, I'm Zach, and I play Bonks, the Bugbear Barbarian.
It's so hard to follow that Bugbear Barbarian.
I don't know, you have a rap with yours. I'm ready to dance to the tune.
I'm Melissa, and I play Angelika Jacobson, and she is a fearful druid.
Thank you. So we premiere our episodes to YouTube every Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific. Tonight we are resuming our side adventure in Exandria. The character portraits and the stat cards, which I believe are that way, are by me. Check the video description for links and information, along with the updated Black Lives Matter resources. Follow us on Twitter at Antiheroes Anon for news and updates. And enjoy the show. Share it with your friends. Come back and watch again next week. You know the drill. Let's go ahead and cut to our intro. All right. Yay! Recap of last week. The Misfits traveled south to the Savalier Wood to check on an ominous vision Angelika Jacobson saw of her homeland. When they got there, a number of strange things were afoot. The normally docile woodland creatures had turned violent and vicious, which they experienced firsthand when a pack of corrupted elk attacked. Angelika's father, Silnan, was secretive when talking about the cherry tree grove he and his partner, Morin, had discovered, from which the lumber they retrieved rotted as soon as its buyer tried to work it. Finally, the nomadic Nightback Clan of Tabaxi, with whom the Fearbulbs of Wisteria Hollow had never had any quarrel, struck without warning and kidnapped Eljon, Angelika's fiancé. You stand now in the first floor of Angelika's home. Morin has just burst in, his clothes torn, covered in dirt and bruises, his arm badly injured, and he has his other hand on Angelika's shoulder, and he says, "They have Eljon, you have to help." What do you do?
How many are in the clan?
Well, I don't know. There were only 2 that attacked us, but the clan is much larger than that, I'm sure.
It'd be funny if it was a clan of 2, though.
Well, why did they attack?
I don't know. I don't know.
Where did they
I don't
go?
know. Just come with me. And he's kind of frantic and panicking. And Silith, Angelika's mother, comes over, and she kind of does some gestures and speaks some words and casts a healing spell on Morin. And as she says this, she says, "You need to calm down and take a breath. You're badly injured. That arm doesn't look good." And he's like, no, don't worry about me. We have to go now. We have to track them or we'll lose their trail. You'll help, right? And Silnan kind of stands up and he's getting his pack and stuff, and he's like, let's go. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Come on. And he kind of looks at Angelika and the rest of you. And he says, I know that you're just visitors here, but if you would help us, we would be in your debt.
And of course, we would do anything we could to help Angelika and her family. So don't worry, Silith. We'll take care of Silman here. I know you might be worried because of his arm, but we'll help. We'll watch out. It'll be okay.
She nods. She says, I know you will be. Good luck.
Thanks, friends. Let's go.
All right. Then Silnan turns to Morn and says, you have us now. Show us where this happened. Take us with you. And Morn's like, yes, of course. Come on, follow me. And he leaves the house. And you all follow him. So he leads you back through the town, very, in a rush. The scent of rot once again washes over you as Morin leads you back out the gates of Wisteria Hollow and into the cursed wood. He follows the main trail for a short time before leading you down a seemingly untrodden, words are hard, a seemingly untrodden branch of the path, which was hidden by the overgrowth. Best place to hunt for mushrooms and the like, he explains as he pushes overgrown vegetation out of the way for you to pass. The narrow footpath winds its way aimlessly through the trees for some time before opening up into a small, dark glade. The signs of a recent struggle here are very clear. Severed tree branches, scattered leaves, crushed mushrooms, disturbed soil, and, most striking, splatters of dark crimson across the forest floor. Morin stops just at the end of the path, his hands tight on the straps of his backpack as he takes in the scene.
So this is
How
where it
long-
happened.
Yeah, how long ago did it happen?
About an hour or so.
I'm gonna have Riot sniff around at the blood to see if she can pick up that scent.
Okay. Have her make a perception check.
Okay. She's got advantage on these. Pretty good. It's 22.
Yeah, so Riot jumps down. Wow, that was fast, Luna. Sorry. Riot jumps down and sniffs at the blood and pretty quickly seems to find a trail of like blood droplets or whatever. And that's leading her kind of to the edge of the clearing.
I think they went this way.
Thinking.
Why'd you bring Bear with you?
Maybe
Would have been
Jackson
smart.
track.
Wait, no, Bear needs to stay in the village though, so that
Yes.
Bear is safe from the corruption.
Yes.
Before we all head off in the direction that Riot is leading us, can I take a quick look around this glade to see if anything has been overlooked in the skirmish?
I
or anything
also,
like that?
yeah, I wanted to
Yeah.
do that as well.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely. Investigation checks.
or perception.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are
Yeah,
you
yeah.
proficient? I'll help you.
I'm not proficient in investigation, but I've got +4. So
Oh, that's quite good. Yeah.
my intelligence is good.
Yeah, I'll help Soph.
Okay.
Okay.
Or a smarty pants.
That's a 17 total.
Okay.
Dirty Soph.
So with the 17, as you're looking around, you manage to find 3 crossbow bolts. Just one's like in a trunk, a couple on the just lying on the forest floor. You also find kind of discarded at the trunk of a tree, and it looks like it might have been stepped on, a small leather pouch.
Can I go ahead and pick that up? Kind of turn it over?
Roll it? No.
Soul strength.
Yeah.
Wisdom save.
Yeah, you can pick it up, turn it over, open it. It's full of mushrooms and herbs.
I will
Um,
show that to Morin and just say, "This yours?"
He takes it and he kind of swallows, and he says, "This is Elgin's."
Right. Well, I'm gonna leave it in your custody for now, and I'll hand it over to him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I found some crossbow bolts and this pouch, but that's about it. So we should probably get a move on, right, Angelika?
Yeah, I don't think there's much more else we could do here then.
With that investigation check, did we get a sense if there was actually more than 2 assailants, or was it just the 2 that was described?
Based on the like disturbed ground, like footprints here and there, there are 4 sets of footprints. 2 of them,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, 2 of them more feline looking.
I see.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should continue stealthily. If there's, some aggressiveness in front of us that we're pursuing, maybe and if it's larger than a tribe of 2, there could be more lurking around.
Yeah, and perhaps this is a trap of some sort.
Mhm. We don't want to get caught up before we even get to the to Eljon.
Eljon's the bait.
Charles.
Okay.
Should we try to be cautious then, or do we just need to be quick? What do you think?
What do you think, Morin? What is the sense you got?
Well,
Stop it.
they came out of nowhere. They're fast. They're perceptive. Their instincts and their reactions are just impossible to follow for us. We were ambushed and we didn't stand a chance. I don't know. I don't know. I want you to run and I want you to. And Silnan is like kind of patting Morin's back, and he looks up and he says, "Look, these tabaxi of the Nightback Clan. We don't know much about them other than they exist. They're out there. They live in the wood. They know it back and front. They might be waiting and hiding for you. So you might want to be cautious." I don't know.
Easter, the answer is cat people.
Perfect.
Morin looks up and he says, "One of them, there were 2 of them. One of them is white with orange and brown and black kind of spots. The other one was gray. A woman and a man, I think. They moved so fast."
Okay, well, let's try to move as fast as we can, but cautiously at the same time.
So both.
Yeah, if they're cat people, then I don't know how well we're going to be able to stay hidden against that kind of, sights and smells and things.
What I mean is like look around on the ground and try not to step in
Yeah, that's fair.
anything suspicious.
Silnan looks at you all and says, I'm going to take Morin back. I think he's too injured and we're a little out of our depth here.
That's probably for the best.
You 4 will have an easier time moving without us anyway. We're not trained fighters.
Okay, thanks, Dad.
Good luck. And make sure you make it back. And Morin says, find my son. Bring him home alive, please.
We'll do our best.
And then they kind of turn and disappear down the trail back toward the hollow.
Angelika, do your friends and family think that we are trained fighters?
They must.
Huh.
Well, you see what type of people we are. They're not equipped to deal with this type of thing.
I mean, Bonks carries a giant hammer, is it, or an axe?
I have both a maul and a great axe.
Just strapped to his back.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Bonks clearly looks like a trained fighter, but I don't know about the rest of us. I know Zoph.
You guys are just guilty by association. I know
Yeah.
Zoph has a pretty dang cool staff. So
Zoph has a cool staff and like a spell book, right?
Yeah.
So
That's true. All right. Well,
Well, we know they went this way, and Easter points off to where Riot is sniffing around.
okay, I don't mind being in front a little bit a ways ahead. I'm pretty stealthy.
Okay. Do you want to travel like 20 or 30 feet ahead, or like?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Should be okay.
So are you going to go stealthily then, or are you just going to be like moving at a normal pace or a fast pace, but being cautious of traps, or what?
I
What
mean,
is it that you
what's
guys
the
are gonna
fastest
do?
we can go while being able to roll like a stealth roll to progress?
I think the rule is if you're moving stealthily, you're moving at half speed.
Did we?
And I
get
would
an-
say that if you're moving cautiously to look out for traps and stuff, it would be the same thing.
with Riot's check. Did we get an idea of like how fresh the tracks were? We just know the direction, but like they said it was
I
like
mean-
an hour ago or something.
Yeah, that like Morn could
So-
have told us when it
Okay,
happened.
so yeah.
A
He
little
was
over
there.
an hour
And
ago.
Did we get an indication from the other villagers or them how far away the Nightback Clan is? No.
You didn't ask.
Ah, well, okay.
kind of sounded like
Come
in
back.
general they don't really know much about the Nightbacks. Is that true, Angelika? It's you know they exist
tend
around
to
here.
be- They tend to be nomads, so I don't know if they, have a home base.
Well,
You can get into them anywhere.
And also, we can't assume that this is the entire clan acting as one. It could just be these two rogue tabaxi as well, you know?
the other thing is if we take it slow, we're less likely to miss clues along the way. If there's like other people, or if they're lying in wait, or
Everyone was really upset because it's his son and they got surprised. But I think my dad is very wise too, that
Ooh.
we might miss something on the way. I mean, they've never done anything like this before, so.
yeah. Well, I'd leave the choice up to Angelika with how quickly we would want to proceed.
I think cautiously is the way to go.
Okay.
I'd hate for us to be trapped into something and then not be able to help.
Yeah, we're incapacitated then. Who knows what's going to happen? All right. Well, I'm going to roll stealth check for myself. That's okay. Oh my.
Yep, I'd like all of them, please.
This will
Ooh.
not be the best, but we'll try.
We'll start with Easter then.
Easter got a natural 20 for a 21.
Nice.
Brr, 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 brr.
Zoph?
7.
Okay. Who's next? Bonks?
Also a 21.
Dang.
Natural 20?
A dirty 21.
Dirty 21. All right, and
Natural
Angelika.
17.
I have a 17.
A 17? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Bear,
Three
Bear,
out of four
why are
ain't
you
bad.
here?
Oh, should Riot do one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Riot
yeah,
invisible?
no. Is Riot going to ride on your shoulders? Or is Riot going to be by
I feel like Riot is
walking
going to
by
be like
herself?
flying nearby. Actually, yeah, I'm going to roll one for Riot because Riot is like leading the way. Riot knows where we're going. So
Riot can hang out with Bonks. if
that's what I'm thinking is that Riot
Okay.
is up with Bonks. So
Sure.
Just as a
Yeah.
rule, I'm going to say right now, if Riot is riding on your person,
Mhm.
Riot won't need to make any checks.
Okay.
But if Riot is acting independently, then she'll need to make.
Yeah, so I mean, if Riot wants to ride on Bonks, you could do that.
Yeah. I don't think she's riding. I think she's like leading you.
Okay, that's fine.
Fortunately, Riot has 2 skills, and one is perception, and the other is stealth. So she rolled a 19.
Nice. It's like
Nice.
Byakko.
Byakko was
Oh my
Total
god, he had
coward.
like a plus 19.
Like
That's
30
insane.
stealth checks every single
Yeah,
time.
he's like, I run a 40. It's like, oh my god.
Byakko never failed a
Pass
thing
another
after he
trace.
switched to the revised
Oh
Ranger.
jeez. Is
Never failed at
incredible.
anything except for his attack rolls.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. We had to work on that.
All right. So you follow these tracks
He's just a
into
sweetheart.
the forest. What's your marching order? I know we have Riot and Bonks up front.
Angelika's kind of big, so she'll take up the rear.
I'll go in front in the back party,
Okay.
like 20 feet back from Bonks.
So Zoph is sandwiched between
Angelika
Eastern.
and Easter.
Easter and Angelika. Okay.
Does your graviturgy stuff make it easier to? Can you do like something to make it so it's easier to move around, or for stealth stuff?
that's a not anything for stealth. I can increase a creature's speed by 10 feet by cutting their density in half.
I guess that wouldn't help if it's just one person. If we have to affect the party, I was just curious. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you
You want me to?
traipse stealthily through the forest.
I'd like to say that
Pearl.
I'm also looking for, along with Riot leading the path forward, I'd also like to look for like, I don't know, I don't want to say like lost luggage, but like, you know, if any other clues appear, or if there's like other skirmishes that we can see, or like, you know, maybe not like necessarily even a skirmish, just like other crossbow bolts in trees, or just signs of fighting or aggressiveness.
All right. Yeah. Make a perception check.
Sure.
Anybody
Oh,
who wants to do this
sweet.
can do this.
18.
As well.
Nice.
Oh, maybe this is why Zoph's stealth is so bad, because Zoph is very closely paying attention, because I got a dirty 20.
Ooh.
Nice. All right. So you travel through the foliage, following the trail that Riot has picked up. There are, I mean, really no traces that anyone has passed through here, except for a few like very minuscule blood droplets here and there, which is what Riot is following. Bonks and Zoph, after about maybe 20-25 minutes, you start to hear the sounds of a scuffle up ahead.
Oh,
Okay. Are we able to perceive what's going on, or?
Yeah, you'll have to get a little bit closer.
Sure.
Wait, okay. Yeah,
So maybe, maybe noticing that, Bonks will kind of like raise up his hand to kind of like tell the party to hang on a second. And I think
He
Zoe kind of
stops.
hears it too. And then he'll approach it.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of creep up through the vegetation. And through the branches, you start to see glimpses and flashes of what looks like a crowd of boars thrashing and charging. And they're all cloaked in this red-black aura. The same thing that was plaguing the elks that you fought before.
Do they have like the sores and stuff?
Mhm.
And like they're gross? Okay. What are they attacking?
Among them,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. If
I'm jumping
among
the gun.
them,
Sorry about that.
you can see a petite tabaxi woman with orange and white fur. And her body is covered in bark-like shingles. And she's defending herself with a dimly glowing quarterstaff against these
And she's
4.
alone?
Yeah.
And there's just a big group of boars?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I think I can hear her
I
too.
think the right thing to do is to help this woman. How far away are the boars?
Probably about 30 feet from where you are.
Okay. So I'm gonna like do this with my hand and like say let's go, and then I will. Do they notice us?
At the moment, it doesn't seem like they notice you.
All right. So I'm gonna try and get a surprise attack on these things. I'm gonna jump in there with my great axe and try and hit one of the boars.
Okay. Let me set up a map, and we will get started on. I'll have initiative and stuff.
Yeah, I'll go ahead
Two.
and roll mine.
Yeah.
Well, we knew that visiting Angelika's home could never be boring.
Oh, excellent.
So you're deciding to attack instead of going around to look for Elton. You want to help this Tabaxi woman, huh?
Well, I figured that she would know. I mean, this is obviously we haven't had a chance to talk about this, but she would know where their clan is, their tribe, right?
Yep. Okay.
So we're looking for them, and this is a person. If we get on their good side, they might help us. If we save their life.
Good plan.
So.
I rolled for Easter and Riot simultaneously, and I was like, "Oh, that was dumb. I didn't figure out which one was which." But it didn't matter because they were both 6s on die.
Oh, nice. Don't worry, I've done that so many times for Zampiaka, and I'm like, and I just like re-roll. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I hear you. Let's see. Okay. It seems I've used all my good rolls so far, so my initiative I rolled 3 on the dice.
When we encountered the elks, I said it could be worse. They could have been corrupted cougars or something like that. And I still think we could do worse than corrupted boars. So at least there's that.
But hopefully, I mean, if I'm up in their business, hopefully they won't like be able to charge and gore me. So, like the elks did.
They'll do that
Like
whole
that one.
Bielko back up and run.
Yeah,
thing.
hey, you know. But they'll have to get away first, and I can
Yeah.
give them a bonks,
Thwack,
if you
thwack.
will.
Bonks him on the head.
Yeah.
All right.
Map. Yeah, let me turn on the map.
Map.
Oh, I really like that tree that you have at the right.
Thanks. So I'm gonna just arbitrarily put you like right here. So that's where
Okay.
you kind of enter the scene.
Okay.
This is the Tabaxi woman. There are 3 normal sized boars
Mhm.
and 1 giant. One that looks much bigger than the other ones, which probably needs to take up more space. I don't think I have anything bigger. So it's just gonna
It's
go.
a large size.
It's a
per-
large size
So
per
it's a 10 by 10.
thing. Yeah, and I will look for. Oh, you know what? I think I have an idea.
Oh boy.
I think
Oh,
Nick might know what I'm going for here. Maybe not.
The dice jail. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. I'm up for this. Yeah, totally.
Giant D20. All right. Initiatives. Let's do 25 to 20. Nobody. 20 to 15. Wow. All right. 15 to 10. Oh. You said 12?
That's the Tabaxi woman.
Yeah.
She's like, help me. 10 to 5?
Oh,
Easter at 7, Riot at 8.
5.
Okay. So
4
Hey, there we are.
what's your dex bonus, or what's
plus 1.
your score? I mean,
Oh, let's take a look. Dexterity is 12.
okay.
We're rolling d20s, right? We're not rolling our d10s for initiative.
Or
Oh,
D12s.
Good call. I
Okay.
rolled a D4 after mine.
All right. So, Bonks will get a surprise round.
I was
Because they
hoping
don't
by
know that
motioning other people could
you're
also
there.
act.
Yeah, everyone can get a surprise round, but I don't know if you guys are, unless you wait for them to catch up to you before you attack.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we all would have the element of surprise, I would say that
Okay.
would be the good option.
Then I'm just gonna throw you guys all here.
I mean, Easter's only 20 feet back, and she
Right.
attacks at range anyway.
Right.
Well, but if he waited for you guys all to catch up,
That's-
I'm just
yeah,
gonna put
that's
Riot
fine.
here next to you.
Okay.
All right, you guys get a surprise round. So Angelika's up first.
Okay, well then, let's see.
Let's bonk them.
I'm going to. What do I have? I'm just gonna get out my sling then,
Okay.
and that is
What's the range on your sling?
30.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you can hit this one if you want.
Okay. 12, 15 to hit.
Yes, that hits. I'm gonna have to mark these guys with something because or code them.
And that's gonna do 4 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Math, why are you so hard? Okay. Okay, that's this one. Boop, 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 boop. Did I do blue already? No, I did green. They just look very similar. Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah, so you smack him with your sling. Make sure you mark off ammunition if you need to do that.
Okay.
Anything else on your turn? Do you want to move?
I'm
Do you...
going to cast Hidden Step.
Okay, so you're invisible. Okay. All right. Yeah, so when you do that, the tabaxi kind of looks over into the trees, doesn't see any of you, doesn't know where the shot came from, and she looks very confused. And she says, "Who's there?" And then it is Riot's turn. Riot and Easter, your turns are together again.
Oh, great.
You're right after each other in the initiative, so you can.
Well, I'm glad Riot went first, so that we can do pact tactics. Riot is gonna use the help action on that one that is to the upper left, that normal looking boar.
The same one that Angelika hit. This one here. That's okay. So Riot's gonna have to fly in here.
Yep.
Like there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will need Riot to make a con save.
Yeah, that's right. Forgot about this stupid miasma stuff. Let's see. Riot's con. 16.
Yep, Riot's fine.
Cool. And then Easter is going to make an attack at advantage with Eldritch Blast.
Nice.
She holds up the crystal with
well, you
both
would have had
hands.
advantage anyway because this is a stealth or a surprise round. But yeah.
Oh, is that how that works? Okay.
Isn't it?
I don't know actually. I don't know a lot about surprise round. Ethan never gave it to me.
True, he never did. He always cheated us out of our surprise rounds.
Never earned them.
I didn't
I'm a
even
nicer
need
DM.
advantage, so I didn't
I
know
got
either.
a crit. I got a crit.
Yay! Good job.
Oh boy, goodbye, boar.
So that is, well, not great. 6 force damage.
Okay. Not quite enough. This thing takes a giant blast and rears back, and it looks in your direction. Arr. I'm not going to make a pig snort squeal because that's not very attractive, but that's what it's doing.
That's it for me.
All right. Then we'll have Bonks.
All right. So I would like to move 2 squares directly above the one that Easter just hit.
Up here?
Yes, please.
Okay, that took a minute for me.
Sorry, I don't know. Is up,
That's all right.
up for you, or is it down?
Yeah, the up is up for me.
Okay.
I specifically positioned the camera that way so that it would be easier.
And then left and right are the same too? Or
Yes.
is that okay, cool.
Yeah.
So from there I will take my surprise attack against the large one, and I will also shout out, because the girl was asking, I will just say die, you beasts, and I will come out jumping and swinging at the largest one with my great axe.
Okay.
And but before that, I will also fly into a rage.
Okay. Please. I assume you did that thing with your glasses.
Oh
before you
yeah,
moved.
that happens all the time. And I rolled a 19, but not a 20. Oh, it was so close.
Oh,
But
so close.
Bugbears get the feature of surprise attack, so I will take this opportunity once per combat to roll an extra 2d6 damage on this one.
Oh.
And so I will do all of this damage. I'm basically a rogue this round. Sneak attack. That would be 12. 12 damage.
Okay.
No, more than that. 15? Let me check. 15. Because I get +2 from rage.
Okay.
So.
It rears back.
Oh, okay.
All
That was a
that
good.
sounds. All those sounds.
The big one made a little wimpy one noise.
No, it was louder than that, but I don't want to wake up my daughter. All right.
Okay.
Love is in the air. No, that's bacon.
Anything else on your turn?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Then it's Zoph's turn.
I'm going to move down through the bushes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares until I've got a line on. Is that a red?
Oh, down
one?
here.
Green one? It's hard to tell the colors. Yeah,
Yes.
right to there.
It's mostly for my benefit than yours, but yeah. The red and the blue one. Yeah.
And then I'm going to take one of those crossbow bolts I scavenged out of my pack, and I'm going to cast Catapult on it.
Okay.
So,
what does Catapult do? Please remind me.
The object flies in a straight line up to 90 feet in a direction I choose before falling to the ground, stopping if it impacts against a solid surface. Since it would strike a creature, that creature must make a dexterity saving throw. So it's just the red one to start off, but then if it misses, the thing keeps going, and then it will hit the next one.
I see. So it's a dexterity saving throw for the red one.
Yep.
I haven't even taken my dice out yet, you guys.
The DC for dexterity saving throw is, where's my spell save DC? 14.
Yeah, it passes.
Okay, so then it keeps flying, and the next one needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
What was the DC?
14.
It passes.
Darn it!
Dang it.
I'm sorry, I rolled really, really well.
I've never hit with Catapult. The crossbow goes
True.
flying off into the bushes.
Yeah, you used it in Bonk's fault with the vials
And
and
it hits
stuff, right? And stuff.
Yeah. All right, well, that's fine.
Good try.
But luckily it's a surprise round, so it wasn't even the real one. It was just a, test one.
It's just a wasted spell slot.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or just since it's the surprise round anyway.
All right, that's Zoph's turn.
All right. Okay, then it is back to the top of the round, and it's the giant boar's turn. So it is very angry at Bonks.
Darn.
So it turns its attention to Bonks, and it's going to move closer to you. And it's going to swing its tusks at you.
Okay.
And that is a 18 to hit.
That does it.
Nice. So you
No.
take 10 slashing damage,
Okay.
which is slashing halved, yeah, by raging. And then I need you to make that con save, please.
Sure. How does a 19 do?
You're fine. The aura washes over you, but you kind of.
I'm so.
You're so raging, it doesn't
Yeah,
even
I
matter.
don't even know. What is Constitution?
All right. And then it's Angelika's turn.
Okay, and I think Angelika, thinking of bacon, is going to cast bonfire, and I'm going to try to get as many of those in it as I can. It's a 5-foot cube, so it's probably just one.
It's just one square then, right? If it's a 5-foot cube, so you can pick one.
Okay, so let's pick one that's, well, should I get a new one or the one that's, let's just do the one that's already hurt. Maybe we can finish him off.
Okay, so this one here.
Yeah.
Is it going to do any
Dex-
damage to someone who's within 5 feet of it, or is it just whoever's inside the square?
It doesn't say that, but I have to look at the spell. I don't have it.
I think it's probably just inside the
It's
square
just the
because it's
square.
just a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
All
they
right.
make a dex save, and the DC is 14.
Okay. They've been doing okay with dex saves today.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yep, it's fine. It saves. I don't know why I can't roll like this on a normal game.
It's the DM power.
The DM
trust me.
curse.
Yeah, not a curse, it's a blessing.
Depends on who you ask, I suppose.
It's curse.
Yeah, so anything else on your turn, Angelika? Do you want to move anywhere? Do you have any bonus actions?
Okay. If I was going to cast Spirit Totem, I have to do that first, right?
No.
No?
Okay. I have it in here, but okay.
I think because, let's see. Let me see. As a bonus action, you can magically summon. So you can use your bonus action at any point in time to do it. You don't have to do it first, but it's going to help you during your turn if you do it first, generally.
All right. Let me figure out which one I want first. Okay. Why isn't it coming up? It's called Spirit Totem.
Mhm.
Well, let's just do the bear again.
Okay, so each creature of your choice in the aura gains temporary hit points, but we need to put down your aura. So, or where are you going to put the totem? Or where are you going to put the spirit?
Look at the map. Okay, so let's put it right in front of it's bigger.
Somewhere in this area, maybe.
Yeah,
The 30-foot radius, so that's pretty far.
it's good.
Yeah, that'll cover like pretty much this whole area up here. Okay, and then so everybody that you choose in this aura gets temporary hit points equal to 5 plus your druid level, which is 3. So you get 8. Everyone gets 8 temp hit points, and you all have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws while you're in the aura.
Sweet.
Love 10 hit points.
I never
Oh,
feel
yeah.
stronger than when I'm next to Angelika's aura.
Nice having auras, isn't it? All right, and are you going to move anywhere? Or are you going to stay put?
I'll stay where I am.
I hope she
Okie
gets a
dokie.
T totem next level.
All right, then it is Riot and then Easter.
Riot's going to take the dodge action.
Okay, I need her to make that con save.
Oh, yeah. She fails.
All right. She's poisoned.
Okay. And then she is going to move back a little bit, one down and to the left.
Here
Yeah, and then to
and
the left.
here.
Yep.
All right. The boar is going to make an opportunity attack
At disadvantage.
at disadvantage. So it wasn't disengage, it was dodge.
It's dodge.
Okay. So at disadvantage, it's probably a miss. That's only an 8.
Yep, that misses.
Okay.
Riot has higher AC than Easter.
Well, Riot's smaller. That makes sense.
Yeah. Higher dex.
Smaller target.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Easter is going to, seeing that there's a bonfire under one of these targets, she's going to switch targets to the giant boar.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't know if this will hit. It might. Does a 14 hit?
Yes.
Okay. Then she is going to deal. Where's my dice? Ooh, a solid 8 damage, which was better than my crit.
Mhm.
And push it back 5 feet.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So there's a tree behind it.
Yeah, I'm going to push it kind of
So
down,
I think,
down and back. Yeah.
like, I think it would have, because of the direction you are, it would probably go like that way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
I can't push it away from Bonks.
it's a large creature, right? So 5
Yeah.
feet, it's still going to be within Bonks's. Or Bonks is still going to be in its threat range. It's not like you moved it 10 feet, right? It's only 5 feet.
Yeah. That sucks.
And there's a big tree there. So
I can move it up to 10 feet. If I move it up to 10 feet, will it go around that tree?
the tree is going to block it from going that direction at all.
Okay. But I can't angle the blast.
If you angle the blast, it will probably, like, if you can push up to 10 feet, it'll go there, but it's still like this square is still within the melee range. So
okay. All right. Then that's what happens.
okay.
Nice try though. Next time,
Large
it would work.
creature.
Yeah.
Large creature. Did a hell of a lot of damage to it though. Bonks, you're up.
All right. Well, luckily I was getting a batting swing ready in that direction, so you just pitched it to me. So we'll see if we can't give it a good one, because I'm going to use.
I tried to get it out of the aura for you though.
Ah, I see. Well, I'm going to use.
You mean you tried to get Bonks out of its aura?
Well, I wasn't pushing Bonks, so it's a very difficult sentence grammatically.
I know. Okay. You're trying to move the aura away from Bonks,
Yes.
basically.
Thank you.
Yep. I understood. So I'm going to use Savage Attacker. Reckless Attack.
Reckless attack.
So I'm gonna roll
To
an
give yourself
advantage.
advantage.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get this guy.
But then I get advantage against you, so.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get this guy. Oops, I get messed up twice. Oh, okay, that's good. I got another 19 on the dice, so that's almost a crit, but it's probably a hit. Because that's like a 24. So
yeah, that'll hit for sure.
All right, we're gonna get him. We are gonna get him. Watch this. Ooh, that's good. That is.
Oh, I did need you to roll that con save at the start of your turn.
Oh, no sweat. Not even a problem. Because that's a dirty 20.
All right, you're fine. Then.
All right. So continuing on, I got 15 damage again.
All right, how do you want to kill it?
Oh yeah. So I think that's exactly what happens. Is that Easter pushes it back as Bonks is swinging again, and it just cleaves clean through it.
And it's gone. Trophy.
Just chops it right in half.
Trophy. Nice work.
And then I think he talks to the Tabaxi woman and says, "Stay safe. We'll take care of the rest shortly."
Okay.
And that's good for me. I'm done.
All right. Well, it's the Tabaxi woman's turn next, and she says, Are you kidding me? I can handle myself too, but I appreciate the assist. And she turns
see.
to this guy here, and she is going to swing her quarterstaff at it.
Glowing quarterstaff.
Yep. Yes, that's a hit. That's a hit. So she swings with both hands this glowing quarterstaff through the flames of the bonfire and like clonks this boar on the back of the head, and it just falls into the fire, squealing like a
That
mad
was our
pig.
trophy.
And she's like, see what I mean?
Maybe you weren't in much danger after all.
And then she winks at you.
Gonna need some ointment.
And then she's going to turn this way. And then it is Zoph's turn.
We're just gonna do the old reliable.
Catapult.
No, the old reliable breath weapon.
Couldn't help myself. I'm
Catapult.
sorry. It's
So-
like 0 and 5, and it's so unfortunate.
Yeah, it's okay. We're just gonna do a good old breath weapon, I think. So dexterity saves from both of them as lightning breath comes out of Zoph's mouth.
All right. What's the DC?
It's only 11 for my breath.
Pass. Fail. So this guy fails.
Well, the one that passes still takes half damage.
Okay.
And I rolled pretty decent damage. So it's 9 full or 4 half.
Okay. What does it look like when you use your breath weapon?
Zoph just, opens their mouth really wide, and you can see lightning beginning to crackle in the back of the throat, and then it kind of little sparks of electricity kind of dance over each of the teeth, and then with a big loud, like kind of a roaring sound, a bolt of lightning just goes out 30 feet in a line. So
All right. And you strike both of these boars, but they are still standing when the lightning clears.
It's utter mayhem.
and that's my action, and I don't.
They're boars,
particularly-
not cows.
I don't particularly want to do anything else, so that's my turn.
Right. All right. And finally, these poor diseased boars get to act. And they are not very happy. So I think you were here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this one is going to probably, yeah, it's probably, they're both going to go get Zoph because Zoph's the only one
Oh,
that's
no.
been doing anything.
Oh no.
So it's going to come here, and I need you to make a con save. No, not yet. You will, though. Maybe, if this hits.
Does the
Probably
Tabaxi
hit.
get a?
Oh, yeah, that's a
opportunity
dirty
attack?
20. Yeah, she will.
Kill it.
She will. She will. All right. Well, let's hold on to that dirty 20 to hit Zoph, because now we're going to see if she'll hit. Not quite enough. She misses.
Maybe she did
Barely.
need help after all.
She misses barely.
Oh,
Yep. So
jeez.
this one is a 20 to hit Zoph
Yeah.
with its tusks. Zoph takes 4 slashing damage, and I need you to roll that con save now, please.
Okie dokie. Con, not one of my best, not one of my worst. But it is when I roll a 3, so 2. No, wait, plus
You're-
1, not minus 1.
All right.
So 4.
2. I mean 4.
My strength
yeah.
is minus 1. My con is plus 1.
So this boar comes running at you and just impales you with one of its tusks, and you can feel that like gross, sickening aura just soak into your
My
pores,
stomach.
and you feel you're poisoned.
But your temporary hit points spared you the health.
They absorb the
They're
damage.
so good.
Well, hold that thought, because the second boar,
It's
who
gonna charge.
is, yep, is going to charge right at you. All right, let's roll that.
Did that board just make a rocket noise?
It's got jet boots.
Oh my gosh. Run so...
So that's only a 10 to hit.
That misses.
Hey.
So it comes charging at you.
Zoph was in the process of stumbling after being gored by the other one. Just kind of, the board just happens to miss.
Yep, that happens.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
a hamburger.
Your drunken
very-
boxing technique.
You're a very lucky dragonborn, Zoph. All right. Giant boar is dead. So Angelika, you're up.
Okay. Let's see. Which one is going to need a ambulance? Let's go for, which one looks the most hurt?
Did you just say ambulance? I think I just caught that.
I think she did.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I'm like, wait a second.
They're Boris.
Ambulance. Haha.
Yeah, they are both looking pretty rough, but this one looks like it's on its last legs.
All right. Then I'll get close enough to use my scimitar.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Oh no, because they'll poison me. That's right. I don't want to do that. Let's, well, I can wild shape twice. Let's wild shape. No, they'll still poison me.
This fight's almost over.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to use my sling again then.
All right.
Go pew, 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 pew.
What was the range on that again? 30?
30.
Yeah, you're fine.
Ooh, I rolled really well though. It's a dirty 20.
Oh,
Yeah, that'll hit.
No, Sona.
Ooh, max damage.
It's really upset. I don't know why I have to.
5
switch
damage.
leads.
Sorry, how much?
5.
All right. How do you want to kill it?
Yay! I'm going to shoot it right in the eye.
Pew! It did. It very did.
Nice.
Zoph
Any-
gives Angelika an appreciative smile and says, and this little piggy went, well, wee, all the way home.
All right. Anything else on your turn? Movement, bonus action?
Let's see. We already did the Sow prize round, so no, I think I'm good here.
Okay. All right. Then it is Riot and Easter.
All right, Riot's gonna move down a little bit instead of pact tactics.
So great.
Easter moves 2 spaces right, and shouts out in like the goth's voice you can manage. The Reaper bacons you. And hits with a let's see. Ooh.
Are
10
you
force
just
damage. Yeah,
Eldritch blasting it?
Yeah. 10 force damage.
All right. How do you want to kill it?
Nice.
She just like channels all of her energy into like one powerful crystal strike, and the beam just lances out and pushes it out of the tree line, and you can't even see the body. It just lands in the thicket.
You
All
boinked
right.
him.
That's your turn. Anything else?
Whew, we did it.
All right.
All right, Bonks. It's your turn.
Yeah. There's no more boars though, right?
There are no more boars.
Okay. So I think Bonks will put his weapon away and
Yeah, you can see the tabaxi looks at you kind of anticipating, defensive, but
yeah.
not aggressive.
I think Bonks will
se.
kind of just do like this and be like, well, more of these strange creatures, these aggressive animals. At least they're dealt with now.
This tabaxi woman doesn't match the description we were given of the 2
Right back.
that attacked, right?
Well, the description you were given. Did you write it down, Angelika?
It's white and orange, which is what she is, right?
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. So it does. I see.
Yeah. Yeah. But she straightens and she puts her quarterstaff back on her back and she says, Well, I was in a little bit of a bind there, but I do appreciate it, the assistance.
Are we out of initiative now?
We are out of initiative.
So
So you can go ahead and swap back to the other.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Turn off the map cam.
Done.
So what'd you do with Eljon?
She kind of looks at you and she's like, and then she looks at you and she looks at you and she says, "Oh, you're one of those."
Yes, I am. What'd you do with Eljon?
She folds her arms and she says, "Well, if you want him back, then you just have to do what we told the other one that you must do. You must appease the wood."
Morin didn't say anything about appeasing a wood.
You didn't really ask.
Well, he also wasn't very forthcoming.
He was in a very shattered emotional state at the time. It's very obvious. He was in shock.
Well, look, that's part of why we're here to begin with anyways. We were already planning on doing that. You don't need to hold a captive to get us to do that.
That's right. This is my home. Do you think I want to see it like this?
Then why have your people been ignoring the problem for weeks when they're the ones that started it in the first place?
Look, we just got here. Can you just tell us what's going on?
Make a persuasion check.
Hopefully with some help, because we just killed all those boars.
Yeah, you can make it at advantage.
I
Okay.
was gonna say guidance.
Like we just did this at a good pace.
Okay. I'm good at it. So 17 plus 6. I think that'll
Wow.
pass. 23.
Okay. She'll sigh and she'll say, "This forest, it has been cursed for centuries. But in the last 2 weeks or so, there has been something different, some corruption. You see what it has done to these poor beasts. The spirits of this forest are angry. They rage. They want vengeance. Vengeance for something that was taken from them by your people." And she spits at the ground at Angelika's feet.
I kicked the dirt back at her.
She hisses a little bit. Your people were not cooperating. We have sent many warnings, and now it is time for us to take action to get you to fix your mistakes and restore balance to the forest.
What is expected?
How honest or forthright are you being with her in your questions? Do you look guarded or suspicious, or are you trying to earnestly?
I'm trying to help to win her trust.
Okay. Then she'll kind of look you up and down, and she'll look at the rest of you, and she'll say, "I can tell like you aren't like the others, and you are strong. And I thank you for coming to my aid. If you need information, then I will take you to the others. My leader, she will explain everything."
That's reasonable. That's we can all just calm down, try to work together. Does that sound fair?
She nods.
Easter, that's the tabaxi.
I know.
I can't anticipate this question. What's up? Instead?
The leader is also a tabaxi. Maybe.
What happened to your partner? How did you get stranded by yourself out here?
I sent him off ahead with the hostage. I assume that is who you are searching for.
Well, yeah, but also, even if you hadn't taken a hostage, that was literally the thing we were planning on doing today, was going out into the woods and trying to figure out how to fix this.
Well,
I know
then
you
maybe
had no
we
way
can
of
help
knowing
each
that,
other.
but I still, it's bad timing, that's all.
She kind of cracks a little bit of a smile at that. She says, I am known as Tree Blossom. Blossom by the ones that call me friend. Come. Tell me your names.
I'm Zofdal Zephyrax, but I am known as Zof by the ones that call me friend.
You can call me Bonks.
I'm Easter. Hi. This is Riot.
What a cute little dragon.
Isn't she though?
And Angelika Jacobson.
Ah, Jacobson. I know this name. Your father. He's the one that comes out into the forest and takes things, yes.
Yes.
Then it is perhaps fitting that you should be the one to pay for his mistake. Come. I take you to my people.
Yeah, sounds good. Lead the way.
Okay. All right, so she will... Why do I have so many tabs open?
Can I roll insight on her, actually?
Yeah.
Oh, well, never mind. I didn't figure anything out.
What did you get?
I rolled a 5. But what I want to
Okay.
know, and maybe I didn't really need to roll for this, but I just kind of wanted to get an idea of if she, like, during that discussion, if she sort of, like, calmed down and, you know, like, it looks like she trusts us a little bit and, like, she's
Yeah.
not trying to, like, you know.
Yeah, you can tell she's put her weapon away and her stance is relaxed a little bit. And
Okay.
actually over the course of the conversation, the kind of tree-like shingles that were on her body have receded and her fur is free to blow in the breeze or whatever. But yeah, she seems to have let her guard down a little bit and even cracked a little bit of a smile. So she's convinced that you guys don't mean her any harm and that you earnestly want to help.
Easter
Okay.
spends the trip to their settlement peppering her with questions about her magic.
About Blossom's magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah. Then what kind of questions do you want to ask her?
So how does your magic work? Do you did you study it like Soph does, or like are you working with somebody like me, or
Well, I get my magic from nature. I worship, I think she is known as the Wild Mother by the common people.
oh, so you're kind of like Angelika.
Perhaps. I have a very strong connection to nature, and so I have been granted many boons.
I think when Bonks hears the information about the Wild Mother, he kind of probably steps in and be like, what is the Wild Mother?
The Wild Mother is our guardian. She shepherds us, and she watches out for my people.
Is she your... does she have a physical form? Is she just is she a deity of some sort, or?
Oh yes, she does not walk the forest with us. No, she, I believe, was, well, I don't know what the common stories are. She reaches out to us through dreams and prayer, like other gods.
I see.
Well,
But
you know,
she is not among us.
I am Circle of the Shepherd, you know. That's why I was so upset when I had the vision that I had. I had to come see what was wrong with the forest.
A vision, you say? Please tell me more. Bra 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 bra. Bra bra bra.
perfect. That's a perfect transition.
Love it.
Yep.
Yeah, so you spend the journey to through the forest, talking about your vision and explaining your vision to her, and she seems very, very interested in it. And what she does say when you're done explaining it is that it doesn't feel like the same type of visions or dreams that she's seen that have been granted to her by the Wild Mother. And she wonders if there is maybe some other force out there sending you information and looking after you.
Interesting. Thank you. I appreciate the insight.
Yes, of course. Well, we are almost there. Please allow me to go in just ahead of you and let them know that we have guests. So she'll kind of ask you to wait, and she'll jump through the trees, and she'll come back a few minutes later and say, all right, come on then.
Okay.
And you follow her through this brush, and it opens up into this kind of spacious but still fairly wooded area. And it's still part of the cursed wood. This is not one of the protected groves that Angelika had described to you before. But there are tents and set up here and there, blankets draped over tree branches, and just very, very crude kind of encampment style area with like a campfire and, rocks and stuff pushed together to create like a seating area. And there is, let's see. Standing kind of right before you as you enter this area is a tall, orange furred tabaxi with black stripes. White kind of tuft here, yellow-green eyes. And she is very muscular, very strong looking. And she looks up as you walk in to the area, guarded, but open. And Blossom introduces each of you, and she says, they have come here seeking the prisoner, and they are willing to appease the wood and right the wrongs that have been done. And the taller, kind of tiger-ish tabaxi says, well, then I welcome you. My name is Bold Timber. I'm the leader of the Nightback Clan. And I am pleased to meet such adventurers who are brave enough to combat the corruption.
Happy to meet you.
Please ask of me your questions, and I will give you the information that I have.
Sorry to meet you under such circumstances.
I am also sorry for taking a very aggressive stance against your people. If we had known that you would be so cooperative, we could have avoided this nastiness.
I'm sure my father would never have done something to intentionally hurt the forest. It is, after all, part of his livelihood.
Be that as it may, ignorance is also just as dangerous as foul intent in some cases.
So, can you explain what happened and what can be done?
Well, I know what is happening in the wood. This corruption is making these beasts run rampant. It is also corrupting our water. The creeks are running red like blood. Vegetation rotting. Everything is tainted. We have been investigating the source. We followed the corruption south, and we discovered a fog that had not been there before in the wood. It was coming from a grove that was once very peaceful and very sacred to our people. Trees with pink blossoms, a haven for fey creatures. For us, it was a site of reflection, somewhere we can connect to our patron and our mother. We could also connect to our ancestors there, as we believe our ancestor spirits live in the trees. Unfortunately, with the fog, we were not able to get closer to this grove. The corruption had also warped the forest somehow into a dangerous labyrinth. Thorns, tangled vines, strange monsters. She kind of stops for a second and she looks at each of your faces and she says, no, we were not able to go to the source directly, but we are fairly certain that that grove is the source. We do not know what your father or what your people did there to cause such a reaction, but we know if we could only reach it, everything would become clear.
You think we'll know what to do to fix it once we get there?
You won't know until you go, unfortunately.
Would it help if we knew what what Angelika's people did to make them so angry?
What do you know, child?
Zoph will look to Angelika for like confirmation that it's okay to talk.
Mhm.
Okay. Then Zoph says, well, we know that they chopped down a tree. They brought wood back to the village. And then as soon as they tried to use the wood, it rotted instantly. Does that give you any hint as to what might be the problem?
Timber kind of looks away for a second. And there's a flash of anger and a flash of pain on her face as you explain what happened. And she says, this grove was our sacred site and the home to our ancestors. Knowing such a travesty has occurred grieves me to my soul. I do not know, as unthinkable as it is to cut down one of the sacred trees, I do not know how that could have caused this. I do not know why. It must, if I had to guess, it's something seeking vengeance for the destruction.
I mean, maybe they left out another detail. Maybe it wasn't just cutting down a tree then, if that's not what the only thing that could have caused this. Right?
It's possible.
But I don't know what else. I don't know.
I mean,
We'll just have to go there and find out.
Yeah, I guess so.
I hate to say it, but Morin has at this point left out several important details, like the fact that these Tabaxi people have made numerous efforts to try and get the community back there to try and solve the issue. This was the first we heard of that.
That's right.
Yeah, something's fishy.
Something's not right. They are less than forthcoming.
Must be the tea that they're drinking.
So am I to understand that the four of you are going to brave the dangers of this labyrinth?
That's the
Yeah.
plan.
I'm willing to restore, hopefully restore the balance.
We came here because we came here because of the vision that Angelika mentioned. So it was always our intention to put right what was wrong.
In that case, we have no reason to keep a prisoner. And she kind of nods. And Blossom nods back, and she kind of looks at you, and she walks off into the group. And she comes back a few minutes later with a blue-gray furred tabaxi, and they've got between them a unconscious Firbolg with bring up my notes.
Giant lump on his head.
Giant lump on his head.
And it's got
Read
like
my mind.
an X shape of like tape on it as well.
Swirly eyes.
Russian birds flying around.
Yeah.
He's got pinkish brown fur, chestnut colored hair, and he has a little bit of a slender build for a Firbolg. Some muscle, but not too much. But he seems pretty tall. And he's completely unconscious. And there is blood and dirt on his clothes. But it doesn't seem to be like a dramatic amount. Just what you'd imagine after a scuffle. And they bring him to your group. And they bring him to you, Angelika.
Yeah.
And as they do, Timber says, I do apologize for the attack. It was deemed necessary, but he should be fine. My people had orders not to kill anyone. And Blossom nods, and the gray tabaxi next to her just kind of rolls his eyes. And they hand them to you, Angelika.
Okay. So Angelika's gonna touch him and cast Healing Word.
Okay.
Can I roll insight on the gray tabaxi?
Absolutely.
Yes.
What are you looking for?
Well, I rolled a natural one, but I wanted to know if it seemed like he was doing this sort of begrudgingly, like if he like doesn't agree with freeing the prisoner.
He's hard to read.
Okay. Yeah, with a 1, anyone's hard to read.
Yep. He's hard to read. But yeah, he's yeah.
Okay.
I can't give you any of that.
No, that's
Sorry.
fine. That's fine. I rolled a 1.
Sorry.
It's fine. No problem.
You rolled a 1.
No problem. This dice is going away.
Yeah. So Angelika casts Healing Word on.
Is he bad enough to need it at level 2? Do you think?
What do you think? He's completely unconscious. He's battered and bruised.
Yeah, let's do a level 2.
Okay.
So 2d4 plus 4. I don't know if you're gonna keep track of that.
Might as well roll it just to see.
2d4 plus 4. So that is 7
Okay.
HP.
Okay. And yes, and he blinks his eyes awake. And you can see he's got very pale, like cornflower blue eyes. And he looks very groggy, and he looks around. He's like, where am I? And he notices you, Angelika, and his expression is very surprised. And he's like, is this heaven? Am I dead?
No, John, you haven't seen me for a while, but I'm real. I'm back.
What
He's
what are
right.
you doing here?
He's right.
Where? And he looks around and he looks a little bit on guard as he recognizes the two that had attacked him.
Yeah, you were. It's all a big misunderstanding. We'll explain it over a cup of tea, okay?
Hey, we're Angelika's friends. How did you and Angelika meet? How did you decide to get married?
Is that? Are you really asking?
Yes.
Sorry, who are you?
I'm Angelika's friend, and I've been wanting to know this for weeks.
She won't tell us a thing.
He's like, well, that
And now
sounds
you're
like a
finally awake.
conversation to have over tea. And he looks at Angelika and he's like, why haven't you told them? Why are we talking about this right now?
Right? There's never
Because I want to
somebody
know.
talk about this. It's a little touchy-feely personal, don't you think?
I mean, listen, gang, we should probably have like a, I don't know, take a short-ish rest here, maybe before we go traipsing into some mysterious fog of unknown effects. I'm sure we'll be fine either way, but wouldn't hurt to have a little rest, don't you think? So, I mean, that's as good a time as any to talk about, how people met and why they decided to get married.
Yes, I agree.
All for it.
Timber says, you're welcome to sit by the fire. I can bring out some, we don't have much, but we have some fresh meat, and I'm sure I can whip up a pot to brew something if you want to brew some tea.
We forgot to pick up the bacon.
I'll be happy to.
You're gonna
Not
eat
from
that shit?
That's kinda
those
gross.
animals.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Blossom's like, I would not advise that. That's
We
just
still
not
have
a
some
good
dragon
idea.
meat though.
Do you?
No, we don't have any more of that.
Did we eat it all? I don't
Eat it
know.
all?
We
I
ate
think
all
you
of
ate
it.
it all.
Okay,
I think you
okay, we ate it all.
It was a very little dragon.
Aw.
And we were two very
Very
hungry people.
mean little dragon though.
What's very
All right.
Goodness.
Then, yeah, so you can set up by the fireplace, by the campfire, I mean, and
Okay.
brew some tea,
All right.
take a short rest. Blossom joins you.
Great.
She's actually, the more you talk to her, the more she's very interested in like your story and, how you came to be here, what kind of adventures you've had. The gray tabaxi doesn't sit at the campfire with you, but he stands nearby and he's just watching and listening.
Mhm.
He's got a very kind of stoic expression and he doesn't seem to be reacting to anything, but he is standing within earshot.
So
Hi, Bear.
during the rest, I'd want to talk to Blossom more and ask her about more about the deity they have, and then also about the holy sites that they use to communicate with her and stuff, and just kind of just
Mhm.
all around trying to get a idea of what their faith is like, I guess, and like their way of life and communicating with this and this deity and
Yeah.
their religion.
Yeah, so she'll say that there aren't really any like fixed sacred sites because she is mother of all nature and the wilderness.
What was her name
so
again?
she says the
Something.
Wild Mother.
Wild Mother. That's
The
right.
Wild Mother. So she basically explains that any place that is very strongly connected to nature is a good place to commune with her deity. She says that following the Wild Mother means that we are devoted to protecting the untamed wilderness, and especially from destruction or exploitation. And they are very strong believers in existing in harmony with nature rather than, destroying it and building and that kind of thing. So that kind of makes it really clear to see, like when you look around at the camp that's very strewn about and very much like using the boons of nature rather than abusing it.
Mhm.
It all kind of makes sense and clicks for you.
And also, Blossom, you mentioned, or maybe it was Timber who mentioned having a close connection with your ancestors. That's something that you have in common with Bonks, actually, isn't it,
Oh,
Bonks?
is
Yeah,
it?
can I summon Tolknath whenever I want, or is it only under certain conditions? Because I know that I will say that metagaming just a little bit. At level 8, I think I actually get another feature that lets me talk to ancestors, and like just whenever I want to. I think it's like if I take a short rest or something, there might be some small preparation.
Yeah, consult the spirits is the
Yeah, I don't have it
level 10 thing.
pulled up. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I
So-
think that right now it's definitely you have to be raging in order to summon, but they're spectral warriors, so they're not like
Yeah.
things you can communicate with.
Maybe next time he comes out, I'll just be like, "Hey, wait, I have a question for you."
So like I think right now the understanding you have is not so much that you are actively summoning, but when you are in battle and things are getting like you get enough to put you into a rage, they appear to help you
Yeah.
of their own volition.
Right. Okay.
So it's not something that really at this point that you can control, but they are coming to assist you.
Okay. So
And
then,
like before when Tolknath visited you, that was not something that you summoned, if that makes sense.
yeah. So then Bonks will kind of add on to what Zofa's saying and say, yes, the ancestors in my tribe are also a very beloved company that we hold in our religion as well. So that just when you and your leader were speaking about it, I was very intrigued, as I am on I guess a personal journey to try and solve a potentially similar related issue with our religion, our deity, and it's so I'm trying to learn more about the outside world to come back and settle that.
She nods and says, yes, it's we are very blessed here because we all believe the same thing, and our beliefs are more grounded in protection and preservation. But if there are some deities are not as benevolent as the Wild Mother, and that can be kind of dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So Angelika would like to ask Blossom. She wants to know if you have to be a tabaxi to be in the Nightback Clan.
She laughs and she says, well, traditionally we are only tabaxi, but I think if you make a good enough impression, we could make an exception.
Like saving one of your members from raging boars or something.
She kind of like raises her eyebrows at you and she says, I did have that under control. I'll have you know.
Sure you did.
Well,
I actually believe that she probably did. I mean, you saw that smack. To
Oh
the
yeah.
one.
Yeah, it was like you can tell it Bonks is like, just putting on a little joke,
Yeah.
half joking.
No, and she's happy to joke back with you. She thinks that's pretty funny.
The other 3 party members are all talking to Blossom, and Easter is sitting across from
Yeah.
Eliana. It's like,
Daggers.
spill it,
Waiting
tell
for
me
it.
everything.
Yeah.
Once he has a chance to kind of sit there and like
Sip
his
the tea.
brain catches up to what's happening and he has like tea or whatever, and he's just like, he actually kind of relaxes and brightens up a little bit, and he's very happy to answer whatever questions you have.
All right, Easter.
Why are you marrying Angelica?
He says, well, I mean, I love her. Isn't that a reason to marry someone?
Why?
Well, she's the strongest person I've ever met.
Have you met
She's-
Bonks?
Well, which one of you is Bunks?
The big guy.
Oh, well, maybe she's not quite that strong. Is that an axe?
Yep.
I've never seen one that big before.
And a maul, and he turns a little bit more.
I had to
He's
mute
just-
myself because Zach's reaction to that just killed me.
That was like
Zach
so
went like
perfect.
off screen.
Oh god, I'm dying right now. It's
Have
so
you met
funny.
Bugs?
Oh god, that was so perfect. I love that so much.
He's
If we did tweets still, that's definitely the tweet that we would use for Easter. Have you met Bonks?
Have
So
you met
strong.
Bugs?
Have you met Bonks?
No, Eljon is smiling. And he says, to be honest, our engagement was more our parents' idea. You know, with Sylvan and my father being business partners for so long. And you know, Angelika and I have known each other since we were very, very young. And it just felt, I'm sure everyone expects it of us, but, and he looks at Angelika and he says, I do love you very much.
I
you
love
ever-
you too.
Have you ever arm wrestled Angelika? Did she win?
Have you ever arm wrestled with him? He kind of looks at her and he says, yes, I'm sure she would beat me very quickly. I am more of the books and less of the brawn.
Do you want to arm wrestle?
So
Sure.
do you get along with Angelika's brother then? He seems like a books guy.
Yes, actually, we run the shop together
Oh,
most of the time.
that's nice.
Yeah, he's great. He's almost like a brother to me as well. I've known him for so long.
Do you have any siblings of your own?
I do. I have 2 siblings, a younger sister and a younger brother.
Oh,
Erna and Erlin.
well, are you gonna arm wrestle or what?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Easter rolled a 5, which I think works out to a 4 because she has -1.
I didn't do much better. Hold on. Do.
You and Angelika have pet names for each other. What are they?
I look over to Easter and I say, he is rather dishy, isn't he?
Let's see. Okay, yep, that's just, yeah, he didn't roll much better, but he rolled better than you, so he beats you.
Damn.
You were going easy on me.
So, pet names. What are they?
Well, I don't know, I guess. Just call you her Angie. That's what everyone calls her.
She doesn't
Why
like Ange.
are you so interested, Easter?
Because this is like my one opportunity. You've never told me anything about Eljon. And like I'm talking to this guy and I want to know everything about your relationship and like why you two are in love and like how it happened. And he's not really telling you anything either. You're the strongest woman he's ever met. Like, I guess because I failed, but
The only information we could get out of your family prior to this was that Eljon is a very nice guy. And we've confirmed, nice guy.
I don't know anything about fearbolgs. I don't know anything about fearbolg mating stuff or courtship rituals or
Well,
Or-
what about
or-
you, Easter? What about you? Is there anyone that is in your life that's special?
well, I got my friends.
Well, I mean, a significant other.
We haven't really settled down in one place long enough for me to kind of meet anyone like that. But no, hey, no, I'm not the one. No,
Where are you from?
this is not. Don't turn this around on
To have
me.
never met a Fearbolg is not such a strange thing, I guess. You must be from the south.
Well, we don't travel much as a rule, so
That's true.
it is understandable that Easter's curious about us. Although
That is true.
we're not very good at being so open. We're kind of a guarded, we have guarded nature. in general.
Yeah, I've noticed.
I've never met anyone quite as curious as you, though.
Well, I'm not from around here.
Again,
Some-
have you met Bonks? Bonks is quite curious.
Are you attracted to curiosity in a person?
Am I?
Are fearbolgs?
He shrugs and he says, well, yes, I Curiosity and the adventurous spirit.
Curiosity killed its back.
Blossom shoots you a look.
Okay, so you like Angelika. She's strong, and she's curious, and she's adventurous.
And he says, I didn't mean strong physically, although I'm sure she is much stronger than I am in that sense, but
Oh, well, you should have said so.
strength of conviction and strength of character.
Okay. Do you think she's good looking?
Well, of course. Prettiest fearwolf I've ever seen.
Good answer.
He smiles.
Okay. Angelika's getting a little uncomfortable, so she gets up to make another pot of tea.
Easter like completely switches gears at this point and says, "Why isn't your dad telling us everything?"
He kind of looks at you and he says, I'm sorry? What do you mean? About what?
I mean, he's keeping secrets from us. Why is he like that?
Well, he sighs. He keeps secrets from me too. I don't think it's anything special per se, but
Did you know he cut down those trees?
I know that they brought back some wood that was unworkable a few weeks ago. Is that what this is about?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna insight check him. See.
Sure. What are you trying to know?
I'm trying to see if he is keeping the same secrets that his dad did. If he's like, if oh, we brought back some wood and it didn't work is like the official story that he's perpetuating.
Okay.
I would do it, but I've rolled a 1 like twice, so.
I didn't roll a 1, but I didn't roll great.
All right, maybe I'll do it too then.
That's a 6.
Eljon's a nice guy.
Okay, all right, here we go. Get my character sheet here again.
Nice guys can keep secrets too, though.
11.
Easter turns to Zoth and says, "Listen, I grew up in the Fae. Niceness is not to be trusted."
Yeah, so when he says that, he seems, as far as you can tell, to be honest.
Okay.
Whether or not what he's saying is true, he at least believes that it's true.
So adding on to that though, I guess maybe paired up with my 11, like I would also just ask, so what happened when you and him were out there and then the tabaxi came to where you were? Like, didn't you guys talk first?
Yeah, they it was all kind of a blur. It happened so fast. They got the jump on us and they were warning us to, well, they were throwing blame at us, really, telling us it was our fault, what's happening to the wood. I didn't really know what they were talking about. I was trying to ask them what they meant, and I think there was just a lot of shouting and a lot of weapon waving, and one thing led to another, and I was knocked to my knees. I'm not much of a fighter myself. I try, but they were actually going after my father.
Right, that's what I guessed as much.
Yeah, so I jumped in front of him to defend him, and that's the last thing I remember.
Interesting.
I tried to
And I guess he ran away.
I don't know what happened after that. I don't know how I got here. And Blossom, who's sitting there listening to this very quietly, she says, we told him, this boy's father, if he wanted to see his son alive again, he would appease the wood. And we took this one with us.
I only wanted him.
Well, someone had to stay alive to deliver the message, right? We couldn't take both of them hostage. What kind of message would that send to your people?
You wouldn't have really killed me, though, would you?
Of course not.
Okay.
That is not our way. And Eljon kind of scratches his head and he says, look, I mean, you didn't really, we could have talked it out. And Blossom's like, your father he was ready to fight. He was not ready to listen. I don't know what he knows or what he thinks he knows, but he was not.
So strange. It's so far out of character.
I have a question. Yeah, that is weird. Is it possible that whatever happened out there that day, something possessed them to cause them to act this way? To cause them to be, hiding information and trying to do something?
Bonks, I was actually about to voice a very similar theory because, and maybe Easter can speak to this more because Easter has more experience, but we were told that this grove that they entered had a Fae presence, and Easter, you just said that the Fae are tricky. Is something like that possible? Could a Fae influence someone's behaviors like that?
Could I roll some kind of check to know this, like Arcana or history or something?
Yeah, Arcana, I think.
Okay. I got a 21 on that.
Shoot. The Fae Master.
Yeah. Not by choice.
Yeah, you think that kind of thing definitely sounds like something that's within the realm of possibility for the Fae, but usually there are some very clear signs when people are not acting of their own will.
Yeah, I'll tell him, I don't know, Morin was acting weird, but not like Fae weird.
I see. I assume that will make sense after I've dealt with some Fae.
I'm
but
inclined just to believe you as well.
yeah,
But I don't really
at this
know.
point, I can only just believe it.
So the signs
Weird,
of
but not
fate-
Fae weird. Okay, got it.
Fake.
Fake.
Yeah, and Eljon will pipe up at this point and say, I mean, my father keeps a lot to himself, but that's just the way he's always been, and I don't think he's been acting any differently since they came back from the wood.
Well, the problem is that the message that we got about the whole situation with the tribe here and stuff like that is that, there's definitely something being hidden. He's definitely sheltering some information. There's some rumors that aren't true. It's very clear now, that something else is going on that we don't know about.
Yeah. Hey, Eljon, do you and Angelika have like a secret spot in the forest where you go to smooch?
I don't know if you've ever seen a Firbolg blush before, but Eljon blushes, and he kind of looks at Angelika and looks back at Easter, and he says, I don't really want to answer that.
Oh, I think you just did. And Easter like leans back with like a really smug smile.
He's like, I'm gonna go check on that
starts
tea.
petting Riot.
I'm gonna go check on that tea, and he gets up and he goes after Angelika. He's like, all right, my uncomfort level is hit max. I'm out of here.
So,
Blossom is just chuckling over in the corner, and she's like, as he walks away, she kind of glances back at the like blue-gray furred tabaxi who's still over there listening, and then she leans to Easter and she says, she kind of points back at the tabaxi behind her with her thumb, and she says, Trail and I have a place. It's great.
Nice.
Trail.
And you can see Trail behind her, one of his ears twitches when she says that.
Just
Nope.
for the sake of getting away from this topic. Um, Blossom, you seem like among this, clan of yours, like you're one of the stronger members.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I mean, I've only met 3, but I would rank you second strongest of the 3 I've met. Were you part of the group that tried to go out towards the grove and encountered the
Yes.
mist?
Yes, I was.
Can you tell us more about your experience there? What was this mist like? What you mentioned a thorn maze had cropped up.
Yes, it's now, mind you, we couldn't get too close because of the fog.
Yeah.
But it was covered in well, the wood is normally very strange. Yes, you've seen enough of it to know. It's like these trees that are rotting and these plants that are dying everywhere. But this place was choked, it seems. This whole section of the forest choked by these vines, big vines, bigger than an elk's girth, or even more. Giant thorns and roots coming up from the ground. Very, we could find but one way inside. A path through that was clear enough to traverse, but the fog made it such that we did not deem it safe enough to venture forward.
What dangers does this fog possess exactly?
I do not think it is anything poisonous or corrupting as the auras that surround the creatures, but it is very thick and very difficult to see forward. Mm-hmm. And there were sounds of strange creatures coming from inside.
Okay.
Of course, I am, as you say, one of the strongest members of the clan. And I did not feel our power was enough to combat anything, especially if we did not know what we were up against.
With the likes of us, and I'll kind of gesture to the group of us, would you feel comfortable accompanying us in our effort to try to go and see what is wrong in the grove? If your power wasn't enough before, would it be sufficient if it was with us? I mean, you've seen us fight. We're not bad. We're okay. Bonks is really good. Easter can shoot the wings off a fly with her little crystal.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. I'm going to use my, what is it, Draconic Presence, Forceful Presence to gain advantage on a persuasion check. Here we go. I think I only have +1 to this. Yep. No, +0 even. But with advantage, that's an 18.
Sweet.
She kind of looks at your group and she says, "Very well. I will accompany you." And as she says this, Trail comes over to the group and he puts a hand on her shoulder and he leans down and he's like, "No, you mustn't. It is too dangerous. I cannot allow you to do this." And she kind of waves her hand and she says, "Look, you didn't see these people fighting. They are very strong and they need someone smart who knows the wood. I will accompany them and I will be all right." And he's like, "Well, then I'll come with you." And she says, "No, you must stay here. Timber needs you." And he's kind of huffs a little bit and he backs off. He folds his arms. And she's like,
she wears the pants in this relationship.
Easter looks down at Blossom's legs.
She's wearing pants.
She's wearing pants, yeah.
She does.
Yeah. like made out of woven cloth.
So I think Eastern Bonks share a nod.
I think I speak for the group of us when I say that I feel much more reassured knowing that you're coming along with us. Like you said, you know this wood, and we saw you fight earlier. You're clearly very strong. So,
when are you planning to go to this place? Today?
I think
I'm
we're
ready
ready now, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
Should we take a short rest?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can mark a short rest and use hit dice or whatever you want to do.
I'm good.
Yeah, of course you are.
She says, okay, then I can take you to this place. But she looks over at Eljon and she's like, what do you want to do about him? He's in no shape to come.
Mind if he stays here for a bit?
Is the way to that place, is the Furbolg village on the way there?
She thinks for a minute and she says, well, it would be a little bit of a detour, but we could make that happen.
I mean,
Well, his parents are really worried about him.
yeah, it'd be good if we could stop by and ease them, and then take care of the situation.
Yeah, and Eljon, you know that area of the forest pretty well, right? We only have to get you in the vicinity, and then you can get back yourself.
He nods. But he says, surely you need provisions for this journey, right? Are you sure you don't want to stop in at the Purple Mushroom? We can rustle up some antitoxins or something, anything that might help.
We did forget to buy those antitoxins.
Did. And I kind of want to talk to Morin a little bit too before we go off to this grove.
That'd be okay. Yeah, if we're gonna go there anyways.
I'm
And
sure
when I say
if-
talk
if-
to him, I mean have a conversation.
Sorry, with who?
We all know what you mean.
with Morin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we.
Eljon sighs and he's like, yes, I do think
Yeah.
that I would also like to know what my father's been hiding from you.
Maybe we
Perhaps
should
when
do
we
that
get
first.
there. Yeah, that's a good idea. But perhaps when we get there, Blossom, it might do if you waited outside of the village. I don't know how much Morin has spread about the events of what happened today, but it's possible that he's rallied the village
Well,
against the nightclub.
I am sure that many of the villagers will not be so keen to see me after the hell I've raised, threatening most of them.
But we wouldn't be long when we go there, I don't think.
Yes,
So-
this is fine. I can I need to make some preparations here as well. So you head to your village and I will meet you just outside when you're ready to go.
That sounds like a good
Yeah,
plan.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
So maybe we just head out then?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there
All right.
anything that we need to talk to Timber about before we go? Or do we already have everything kind of squared away? I think we do, right?
Yeah, I think we learned everything that Timber can tell us about the grove and whatnot.
So I guess we
Blossom
kind of...
answered the one question I had, which was just whether this fog was
Poisonous or
poisonous,
not.
So I guess we'll just kind of thank them on our way out for their hospitality and,
Okay.
we'll
Yeah.
head
And
back.
yeah, Timber will say, good
Unless
luck.
You're muted. Listen, you're muted.
Trying, it's not behaving tonight. The only thing I could think of was if she had some kind of charm or talisman that would help us in the grove itself to bring with us.
No, it's difficult to know what kind of talisman to give you when we don't know what the source is exactly. But
Okay.
you have our thanks and our good wishes.
We'll do our best.
All right. Well, then, as you all gather yourselves and Eljon, you make your way back to Wisteria Hollow with a plan to meet Blossom and head to the corrupted grove. I think that's a good place to call it for tonight.
Okay.
So, good job with that. I'm very pleased with how that ended up. That could have gone very badly for you guys. but you decided to
Nah.
play nice. So this
They're
is
very nice people.
Although Angelika gave me a hard time for jumping in to help, so I think I had the right idea though.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
We will
yeah,
soon next
so-
time.
So thank you guys for playing, and thanks everyone who tuned in to watch. We'll be back next week when they head out to the corrupted labyrinth and finally discover what's going on. Time will tell.
If not, we have weapons and magic, so figure it out.
Thanks everyone. Good night.
Bye.
Night.